For decades, the legacy rule of brand strategy has mandated that companies must find a unique attribute and position their product tightly around it to stand out in the market. Yet empirical data consistently demonstrates that highly differentiated, tightly positioned brands frequently fail to achieve massive market share growth. Human memory does not function like a deterministic filing cabinet, where one unique attribute guarantees selection. Brand retrieval is a competitive, probabilistic process governed by spiking activation. If a buyer's immediate context does not perfectly match a brand's single, heavily reinforced node, that brand is entirely bypassed. The metric that actually correlates with growth is mental availability. This is rigorously defined as a brand's propensity to be retrieved from memory when a consumer enters a buying situation. Consequently, growth relies on building a broad, frequently refreshed network of memory links across multiple situational cues. A single perfect attribute is a vulnerability. A wide net is a structural advantage. When a buying need arises, the brain uses specific cues from a person's internal state or external environment as the initial triggers for memory retrieval. If a brand has invested its budget linking itself to only one specific use case, and the buyer's current environment lacks that exact cue, the brain simply will not retrieve the brand. This diagram compares the retrieval chance of different cognitive structures. A wider network of varied memory links mathematically increases the probability of a brand surviving the brain's internal filtering process, regardless of which specific cue initiates the search. Establishing a brand's presence in the mind is a structural task of probability and breadth, rather than a creative exercise in unique differentiation. People spend the vast majority of their lives completely oblivious to brands. They exist in a baseline state of normal life, focusing on routines, work, and family. Then, a specific internal need or external context forces a transition. A thought triggers the switch, moving them instantly from normal mode into category buyer mode. We define these specific situational cues and transition thoughts as category entry points, or CEPs. Crucially, CEPs operate entirely independently of any specific brand. The need to get hair clean exists regardless of whether a particular shampoo brand is currently on the market. Think of CEPs as mental distribution outlets. They serve as the cognitive shelves where the brain stores potential options. Physical distribution requires placing products on as many real-world shelves as possible to maximize the odds of purchase. Mental availability requires linking the brand to as many mental shelves as possible. This 7Ws matrix maps mental distribution outlets. Why captures specific benefits, like asking questions. When covers timing, like needing to wake up. Where addresses location contexts, while identifies simultaneous activities, like watching TV. Documenting these dimensions forces an external perspective. The fifth dimension is whom. Others alter brand retrieval. What covers accompaniments, like sharing a photo. Finally, how feeling catalogs emotional states, like craving comfort food. Real-world buying contexts intersect simultaneously. Completing this matrix maps potential entry points, exposing empty cognitive shelves. There are two primary methods for identifying these entry points: assembling an internal expert panel or conducting primary research directly with category buyers. Relying on internal panels introduces severe corporate blind spots. Marketing teams tend to chase abstract, trendy emotional positionings, assuming buyers care deeply about empowerment or trust. Actual consumers generate a dense cloud of highly practical, routine triggers. Primary research is the only reliable methodology to uncover the high-incidence, mundane reasons people actually initiate a purchase. Ignoring unglamorous category triggers introduces significant operational risk. If a company fails to link its shampoo to the simple desire to get hair clean, it misses the highest volume pathway to purchase. A brand cannot build broad mental availability if its foundational research is artificially narrowed by internal biases and marketing fads. Primary research presents an immediate logistical challenge. It generates a massive, unwieldy list of raw entry points that analysts must refine before they can guide strategy. The first step in data reduction is consolidation. Analysts organize raw responses within the W's framework, merging duplicate concepts into cohesive nodes. The second step is incidence culling, eliminating statistically rare situations, like buying a product exclusively for a wedding.
True brand health is measured by the sheer volume and breadth of different mental pathways that successfully lead a buyer to its door.